Most athletes think plyometrics are an absolute must do, and you can't get anywhere in your jump training without them. But we're here to tell you that is a lie and you're being misled. This is exactly how you need to approach your training. And this is how Tom has added 20 inches to his vertical. He went from nothing to an East Bay in 1 year. Some absolutely insane progress. And Tom has never done traditional plyometrics until what, 6 months ago? So
Like 3 months ago, but yeah.
3 months ago.
Mm.
So what's happened with your journey? Why didn't you do traditional plyometrics? What did you do starting out? Like, so where were you when you first started your jump training? And what did you do? And what were some of the roadblocks you had?
Main roadblock I had at the very start was just knee pain, and that was just through like not managing, my training. I was just doing random things every session, and that's no good, of course. But then I even went through a period of, just like not knowing what I was doing, kind of just guessing and like jumping from workout to workout, program to program, whatever. But then, yeah, once I started just jumping and strength training, that's when I saw the most return. And I was jumping pretty much every day to some extent, like on my home room, whether it's like a low rim session or a max rim session. A lot of the time, the low rims would just turn into, 10-foot sessions anyway. So I was getting my jump reps in, and, I was going through puberty, also in the weight room. So I'm getting much stronger every single week. And my vert, yeah, just absolutely went up. It was like every session, pretty much every session, I was jumping high for like a good 6 months. And, there's just nothing like that, progress period that obviously ever have again, just because everything was so new. But I was doing the right kind of plyometrics, because technically, obviously a 2-foot jump is a plyometric, but in terms of the, traditional ones that you think of, like line hops or, forward pogo hops or whatever, didn't do those in the slightest. Put all my eggs in the jump basket.
Yeah. And like through that period, how often did you hit a new dunk?
Once every week, bro, to be honest. Like from hitting my first windmill, it was probably like 4 or 5 months, and I hit my first East Bay. Like it wasn't that long.
If you were doing plyometrics, like in replace of going out and dunking, do you think you would have progressed the same amount?
No, absolutely not. Just you cannot replace, especially when you're younger, you cannot replicate doing a max effort jump, whether that's off 1 foot, off 2 foot. It doesn't matter. Nothing can replicate how specific that stimuli is. And the amount of reps that you think you need, to be like a good at jumping or like, proficient in the jump technique, it's a lot more than you think. It's probably a lot more than like 10,000 or whatever they say it is. It's probably a lot more realistically. So you're going to get better bang for your buck for 99.9% of people going out jumping, prioritizing that than plyometrics.
What's the issue with someone doing plyometrics early on and not jumping enough?
So, I mean, it's not that plyometrics are bad. They obviously have their place, and, they can be very good and beneficial. But again, we're talking about, 99% of people are bad at jumping, they're bad at dunking, and they can, they have room for improvement. So if you're doing plyometrics, you're going out in the field, you obviously only have so many elastic contacts you can do in a week before, you blow up your knees, you get tendonitis, whatever. Let's say you have 50 max jumps, 50 contacts. Let's just say you got 50 points to spend, right? I'd rather you spend all 50 of those points trying to jump higher, trying to work on dunking, because dunking is a skill, jumping is a skill. So you got to go practice it. And, say you spend 25 of those points on plyometrics, you're only getting half the practice. You're only going to get half as good, right?
What's the issue with most athletes when they're first starting out if they can't currently dunk? What common struggles do they have? I know the answer, but
What common struggles do athletes have? So, all right, this is what I see all the time. And it's like, I see it a lot in basketball players, which is really surprising because you think they'd be like more coordinated than they are. But it just goes to show that dunking is completely separate to basketball itself. Is they'll be able to like fully grip the rim, or even sometimes they're like hanging on the rim with two hands with ease. Then I give them a ball, whether it's off the lob, off the dribble, and they're not even close to dunking. And I'm like, what is going on? I literally dunked when I was getting like, if you guys see on the camera, if you're watching, literally my fingers over the rim, not even my wrist. So like I had no clearance. I was probably touching 10-3, 10-4 and got my first dunk, right? And these guys are probably touching 10-7, 10-8, not even getting close. Why is that? I went outside every single day, practice lob, practice dunking, the actual skill of dunking. These guys are not doing that. And maybe they're going out doing plyometrics or just not doing anything at all. They're not practicing the skill of dunking or jumping enough.
yeah, because the two things athletes suck at when they first start out is finishing dunks and also approaching the rim in the right way and having good jump technique.
For
So
sure.
if you're doing too many plyometrics and you're not going out and jumping enough, then you're reducing the amount you can practice those two things, therefore equaling slower progress because you're not developing the skill enough. And a lot of people don't realize part of being fast, part of being explosive is having rhythm and coordination. So if you're not practicing dunking, then you're going to lack those two things and you're not going to look explosive or feel explosive because you're going to feel uncoordinated. You're going to feel awkward. Your jump approach is going to feel awkward. There's probably a lot of people listening right now to where their jump approach does feel awkward. And maybe they're jumping high enough, but they're not dunking consistently because they're not practicing their skill enough. And that's where it's so important to prioritize that and practice that over doing any plyometrics. And that's why Tom progressed so fast here and added 20 inches to his vertical and improved so dramatically because that's what he did. He prioritized dunking and jumping and got better at the skill of it and coordinated at it very fast because of how much he practiced it. And when he went to go strength train and do power work, it translated so much better because he was already coordinated and had rhythm and everything like that. And so everything he was doing, because he was jumping and practicing jumping so much, just transferred almost straight away and exploded his progress. So that's a trap a lot of athletes run into is they think they need this player, that player, or if they're not doing players, they're not going to progress. This is the opposite. You'll
Yeah.
likely progress more not doing any traditional players and going out and jumping and just strength training and sprinting, doing those three things
Yeah.
and ticking
Yeah.
all the boxes.
A lot of athletes will, you know, join us and, they look at their program on the first week. They'll go, Tom and Austin, like, where are the plyometrics at? Like, why am I not doing plyometrics? Like, where are all my, 2000 pogo hops that I need to be doing to jump higher? Like, where's my plyos? And, again, what Austin just said, like, for 99% of these guys, jumping, lifting, sprinting, you're going to get a lot more out of that. And I'd rather you use all your recovery points on that kind of stuff than, traditional plyometrics, which again, I'm not saying they're bad, but for most people, their place and time is probably further down the line.
Yeah, and the more you suck, the more you need to jump and the more you need to play catch up.
Yeah. Simple. Simple.
Yeah. So if you look at yourself and you look at yourself jumping and oh, I'm so slow, like I feel awkward, like you're that guy that needs to go out and jump like a lot, but progress it in slowly so you don't injure yourself. But the main takeaway you guys need to make or take away from this podcast is that plyometrics, they're a little bit overrated, especially when you're starting out. What is underrated is going out and jumping and practicing getting better at that and working on that and doing it with intent. And I promise you, if you do that, your progress is gonna skyrocket, and you're gonna progress faster than just doing players, or even if you're already jumping and half of your contacts a week are players, changing that to more jumping, you're gonna progress faster.
Bro, real quick, like I'll have people come up to me, like if I'm doing a dunk session, say it's at the Arc, whatever, Lakeside, and they'll go, how did you jump higher? How do you jump higher? And I'll be like, I'll tell them I squat, I get stronger, and I jump a lot. And like that's literally what I did, to go from nothing to East Bang. And most of the time they'll think I'm like, pulling their leg. They'll think I'm joking or like I'm trying to hide some kind of secret from them. Like, I'm not actually telling them the secret, but like I'm being straight up with them. It's literally what they all need to be doing because all these guys, they're not going out and having their dedicated dunk sessions. They may be doing, 2 or 3 after a practice, if that, unless they're like super locked in on vert training, they're not getting enough jump reps in. And it's as simple as that. You're not going to get good at the thing without doing the thing.
No, and all our athletes that make the most progress, this is what they do. So if you
Yeah.
guys want help from us
Yeah.
and you guys want coaching, there's a link down below where you can apply and we can help you out. And we'll catch you guys in the next episode.
So peace out.